Hello and welcome to the Four Corners Podcast. I'm Steven.
Scott.
Colin.
Zach.
And today we bring you Wrestlemania weekend. But before we get into everything else, I believe a few of us have some plugs to put in. Scott, you want to start off?
Sure. Well, guys, want to let you guys know, and everybody else that's our subscribers and viewers out there, that Heroes and Legends returns April 21st to Fort Wayne, Indiana, with their Heroes and Legends show. They also have a website where more information can be found on. It is heroesandlegendswrestling.com. This current upcoming show has Congo Kong, James Ellsworth, Terry Runnels, Mark Henry, Mean Gene Okerlund, yes, thank you.
I just heard him on the radio this morning.
And a few others. They always have really good shows at these events, and they have pretty good turnouts. Tickets can also be found on Ticketmaster as well for the event. I believe they still have some available, but I'm not sure. I haven't been on there recently.
Can you do something with Gene?
Yeah, there's actually a package, I believe. I don't know if they're still offering on the website. I'm also not sure of the price. You'd have to go to their website. There's a package in which you can pay to have an interview segment with Mean Gene that you get to keep and record. That way you can have a little piece of like your time with Mean Gene Okerlund, which is pretty cool.
Can we have fun and do the intro?
I think that would be
I was gonna walk up and be like, "Welcome to the Four Corners Podcast. What do you think about it, Gene?" or something like that.
Also, I wanted to give a plug to Tony Vela. VelaCards.com is also having a sale going on, 15% off any order of any size, including Super Show product, WWE Raw Deal product, autographed backstage cards by CM Punk, Becky Lynch, Vince McMahon, several others. He's got a really deep selection of autographs to pick from. And also, lastly but not least, our local game shop here in Lafayette, Indiana, Castle Comics and Cards, is having a standard Magic event on Friday nights, I believe every Friday night, and they also do Modern Monday as well. So make sure to check that out if you guys are into playing Magic the Gathering. I know I enjoy Magic the Gathering, and I know you guys do as well. I know you guys still collect.
I mean, I can't speak very late. Like, I've been going there for almost 20 years now.
About the same.
We went, you and I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then we kind of dabbled in Magic, Pokemon, and
Raw Deal.
And
about everything.
Raw Deal.
Everything they threw at us.
Well, now we're starting to get into Dragon Ball Super now too.
Yep.
So
Shut up, Colin. Speaking of which, Colin, I believe you've got some plugs here.
Yeah, I got one. Super excited. I've done a lot of Let's Plays in the past. Well, I'm going and doing another Let's Play on Monday for Sean Games.
Do you know what you're playing?
We're playing Kirby.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're playing Kirby.
What system?
I think the Switch. I think it's the new Kirby game.
Nice.
I had to look it up for sure. But yeah, we're playing on Monday, so if you want to check out Sean Games on YouTube, Sean has obviously helped us get this thing started. He uploaded the first video for us. So he's a friend of the podcast and a friend of mine personally, and so if you want to check it out, I'll be on there with my cousin Zach and Sean, and maybe a fourth guest. We don't know who it is, possibly. But anyway, check it out. It's a good time.
Sounds good. So without further ado, I mean, we've been hyping up this WrestleMania game. This is getting ready to go into WrestleMania weekend, the Super Bowl for all of wrestling fans. So the game we're going to play is the Ultimate WrestleMania card game.
Mm-hmm.
So not an actual trading card game, but like.
Thank you. You already knew where I was going.
Yeah. We're each going to pick 8 matches from WrestleMania 1 through 33, but the catch is you're only allowed to use each wrestler one time. So if you use Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, that eliminates any Undertaker Shawn Michaels matches from any of the other WrestleManias. So this also isn't necessarily how we view these matches greatest of all time. This is just 8 that we feel would make the best WrestleMania card. We've each got, hopefully, different picks.
Not guaranteed. Not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed. But the order of this will be Colin, then Zach, Steven, and then myself.
And then some of the matches, if we haven't agreed on them, we're going to kind of discuss them a little bit more. But if we've all agreed on them, there may be a short explanation, if that, and then we'll just move on to the next one.
Definitely.
And then we're also going to do the predictions that what we believe
will happen at
WrestleMania this coming weekend.
What about after?
We'll probably do that for another one.
Yeah, we'll wait till...
Yeah, let's do that one on another one.
Yeah.
So that way we can split it up.
What thing are we doing with what?
What we think will happen after WrestleMania.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're going to do that later.
We'll wait, because I'm pretty sure Raw this coming Monday is going to change quite quite amount of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my assumption.
Just ask him.
Oh, yeah. Good plan.
Well, Colin, you're leading off here. What do you got?
I've got Trish Stratus versus Mickey James.
From WrestleMania 22.
Yeah, I kind of accidentally, when I was going through resetting it up, I erased which WrestleMania it was, so.
It's 22.
I was at that
22.
one. It was 22.
It's 22.
I mean, let's be real. There's some stuff on that particular match that are cut out.
For good reason, yeah. For the younger viewers back then.
Yeah, it's a good match though. We got we got to see a little bit of that again at this year's Royal Rumble with Mickey and Trish, but
She did make a reference to that.
Yes,
in
she
the Royal
did.
Rumble. Yeah.
a little bit of a reference. Yeah, I watched. I got the DVD and I watched it. I was like, oh shit, she did it again. Kind of, not quite the same, but it's good times.
Zach, what's going to be your number one match here for your Ultimate card?
I'm gonna have to go with Edge versus Mick Foley at WrestleMania 22, the hardcore match.
That was a good match.
Very good.
Fire.
Fire on the table,
Not just-
attacks. It was great.
I mean, not just fire, but like they told a really good story going into that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Mick Foley finally got his WrestleMania moment too. So.
Well, yeah, that was way too long.
Through a fucking flaming table, but by God, he got it.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a shade of ECW back in his day, and Edge trying to
Well, and I
develop more into the Radar Superstar gimmick, I want to say.
Yeah, because that was right before he started doing all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Right around the same time.
And I think the funniest thing was when Foley walked up to him and wouldn't be his tag team partner, and he said, "You're not hardcore enough." I mean, no one is hardcore enough for Mick Foley. Let's just.
No, Terry Funk's pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Terry
Terry
Funk.
Funk's probably.
I mean, Sandman, maybe.
There's a few you could make an argument for. Yeah, New Jack. You
Yeah.
can say his name, New Jack.
Jack.
He's a crazy motherfucker.
Yes,
but
he is.
New Jack is spoken in hushed tones.
he's a funny fucking guy though, and he knows his shit. I've listened to a few of his interviews on various other channels, and he's pretty fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
But Zach, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, just the storytelling was really good going through. I think Lita joining in the fray was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Until she got the baseball bat with barbed wire across her mouth, so that's kind of funny.
Steve-O?
Sorry.
Who's leading off of your card?
Mine would have to be from WrestleMania 21, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. I've always enjoyed these two competing either in the ring or against each other. They did a lot in WCW days. WWE, they were actually going into a feud and later settled that feud at SummerSlam, but it was the first time that tag team champions had actually been wrestling against each other at WrestleMania. Back in 1996 and 97, Halloween Havoc, their match won match of the year. And they've had so much good chemistry, and it was such a good match to actually lead off the card. I figured why not do it again.
Yeah, and that was a good match. I think I was watching that with you at your place. 21? Yeah. So mine is from WrestleMania 32. It is the triple threat women's match between Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte, accompanied by Ric Flair for the women's championship. I really thought this was a really good match, and it was one of the first times that the women actually got like a legitimate, I felt like, meaningful match.
I don't know. Mickey and Trish was pretty meaningful.
That was meaningful, but like they were really the only two back then that weren't doing the whole like hokey like
Okay.
Braun Bailey.
every single match. Like this was like a respectable, meaningful.
Well, and that was also when
match.
they were going from divas to superstars,
Yeah, that was in the whole women's revolution going into that.
which is still going on in this day.
Yeah, they've got another first coming. We'll talk about later.
Jesus.
And it's about time that they actually got credible wrestling matches and they were taken seriously. I mean, a lot of these girls out there can actually go, and it's nice to see they're getting that platform to be able to show that they can.
Right.
But that's all for my first one. Colin, what do you have going for two?
Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 20. Yeah.
Such
That's a good match.
Yeah,
Such
that's
a good match.
That was a damn good match.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I don't have much to say on it. Just thought it was a pretty good match.
Zach?
I changed this up from the first time I wrote it down, but I have China and Ivory. One of the WrestleManias, and I don't remember which one.
17.
17.
That's probably gonna be something you and I are gonna probably know most of them by.
I don't know. The storyline going into this whole women's match for the title. I mean, you have Ivory and Right to Censor saying, "Hey, you shouldn't be exploited." Blah blah blah. You doing this Playboy thing, and China's just like, "Why not? It's my body. My body's beautiful. If I want to pose for Playboy, I'm going to pose for Playboy."
It's one group I really missed was Right to Censor. I think that was a group that
Chief Morley.
had more mileage in it than what they allowed it to have.
That's because it wasn't over.
Yeah, it was.
It was more over
It
you
was,
think.
it was over. Like, I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff they did. It was cool how they would get members in, kind of like a brainwashing cult type deal. But they just got held to that mid-lower card, and they couldn't get past that, which it's a discussion for another time. Because I actually had something really cool I think would have been nice to see with it, but
Well, I guess to kind of piggyback with that.
I have a feeling we're gonna keep saying that again.
But before we move on, I think the whole Chris Jericho segment with Right to Censor, fucking gold.
Steve, what do you got for 2?
Number 2 is gonna be kind of a heavy hitter. At least in my eyes as a child, it was one of my favorite matches. So that's kind of the reason why I put it on there. That would be WrestleMania 7, Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior, the WWE Championship match versus the Intercontinental Championship match, title for title.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
I was hoping Hogan would not make it anywhere on this list.
Yeah, well, he did.
He got erased off my list intentionally.
Well, that's all you.
He sucks.
But at the given time for that, it was 2, in my eyes, mega icons going at it. It was the first time that I had ever seen it. I know there's been other matches where it has happened, don't get me wrong. But it was the first time that I had actually seen it. It was in Toronto, Canada. Ultimate Warrior went over, obviously, and then Hogan came back in the ring and presented him with the world title, basically signifying that he's passing the torch on to Ultimate Warrior to go pursue a movie career, if I'm not mistaken. Thunder in Paradise.
No, that was way before Thunder in Paradise.
Suburban Commando?
He was filming actual movies. He wasn't at the Thunder in Paradise point yet.
Okay. Fair enough. But for these two to kind of go at it, it wasn't really fast paced like the type of match that I typically like, but it was just the fact that you had 2 mega icons going at it and you really didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's not an icon. Piece of garbage.
Well,
Regardless of what your opinion is, he is actually.
My second match for my card is what I feel should be on every single WrestleMania list. Even if we all picked it, I mean, it belongs there. WrestleMania 3, Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Back then, I mean, you had 2 matches on that card that were pretty much trend-setting for the rest of the history of WrestleMania and professional wrestling. You had Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat go on there and tell a story, and then you also had Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, which also told another story. That they were 2 different stories, but I personally will always enjoy the Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage match.
Well, there's also been reports that said, like, back at WrestleMania 3, like, the WrestleMania 3 was built around Hogan and Andre,
Yes.
but Steamboat and Savage stole the show.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like a circle.
Hogan was never going to go out there and put on a 5-star wrestling clinic.
Because he's not that good.
Savage and Steamboat went out there and they put on a clinic. They just went out there and told an amazing story.
That's because they're actually good.
It was a great match, and it's going to stand the test of time.
I like Andre the Giant. Hogan sucks. Anyway,
What's your
my third match is Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. Yeah, I know. I'm too busy thinking about more ways to insult Hulk Hogan. But I think he went through pretty much everything that needs to be said about it. Just a little bit.
But in reality, though, kind of piggyback off yours, Steamboat has so many good matches
folks.
back in his day,
I'm going
especially against Ric Flair and Savage and so many other great talents.
We could actually do a podcast dedicated to how great Ricky Steamboat was. He was that good,
Yeah.
and I really think actually he wasn't utilized to the full point of his popularity.
Mm-hmm.
His feud with Jake Roberts back
Oh god, so good.
in the day was fantastic.
That's when he brought out that Komodo dragon.
He took that shoot DDT on the concrete and damn near killed Ricky Steamboat.
Ah.
Jake actually fought against that on the outside. He said, if you DDT a man on concrete, you're going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
This is a horrible idea, and they were pushing for this match to involve that spot, and he did it. He said when I dropped him, there was a massive knot that grew on the top of his head, and it was like picking up like 10 pallets worth of potatoes. He was just dead weight. He's like, I rolled him in the ring. He was just seeing like the pins coming in and out of his eyes. It was a bad situation. Zach, what do you got for number 3?
I had Shane versus AJ Styles. Shane McMahon. I believe that was in 31.
No, that was
last year.
Last year,
That was last year,
33.
32.
No, 33.
33 is this year.
33.
34
is this year.
Yeah, 33. It was 33, man.
I
Styles
know it
only
was. I know that WrestleMania went long enough. We felt it like it was due.
Come on now.
But no, I mean, go ahead, Zach.
I just think that, storytelling again. You have this superstar that it's like kind of like Ronda Rousey coming in. She's fighting off the McMahons because McMahons think they own the wrestling world, which they do. But this guy right here,
Ring of Honor would have something to say.
New Japan.
That too.
Maybe.
Different podcast.
For another time.
Right, but I mean, AJ trying to stick it to Shane, I think that was the big kind of factor to this story.
The only thing I didn't like about that match was it was first. Because I'm sorry, but Styles is so good that once you put him on there, it's hard to top him.
Do you think
you're gonna be disappointed this year when Styles goes first again? With
Shut up.
Please don't.
Please don't. No, I think we probably just shot pay-per-view.
Do you think though that he went on first to kind of pay some dues? This was his first WrestleMania.
No, it's not the second.
Who do you do?
Jericho.
Oh, Jericho. That's right.
Jericho, and he lost
His
to
second.
Jericho.
Where was that at on the card?
That was like second or third, I think.
Yeah, he could probably still be paying dues to.
And in fairness, it's a Shane McMahon match. It's not that huge.
Yeah, but the year that was Styles and Jericho, Taker and Shane was like semi-main.
That's because of Undertaker.
Undertaker, massive gimmick, and had control over WWE, I believe.
Yeah.
That had multiple stipulations.
Let's be real. Undertaker's going to probably be one of the last matches on the card, no matter what it is.
Sure.
It's just the Undertaker.
I'll
He
give you
deserves that spot, no matter how much Scott hates him.
I don't really hate him. I just lost a lot of respect for how he's
Handled Sting.
not just Sting, but buried Diamond Dallas Page. For no look. I know there's a lot of Undertaker fans. What he did to DDP was shitty.
Wasn't that when he was wrestling with Canyon?
Yeah, Canyon had come over. This was during the invasion, and
Right.
apparently something had happened. Like DDP came up to him with an idea for something, and I guess it rubbed the Undertaker the wrong way, and that was it for DDP. Like there was no coming back. They got squashed at SummerSlam. They gave some hokey reason for Canyon to abandon DDP, and for those who didn't watch WCW, like they were pretty tight knit. Jersey Triad with Bam Bam Bigelow, and Canyon even said in his kind of like interview with somebody else on YouTube that it didn't make a whole lot of sense for me to straight up just abandon Diamond Dallas Page. That's kind of like my brother. Why would I leave him hanging? And he was kind of politely forced into the decision.
Oh, that's nice. Scott, I think it's your turn, actually.
It's
Steve's turn.
Really, dude? I'm trying to I mean, I know I'm the short one here, but dang.
Are your feet still kicking below the table?
No. Not now.
Step stool.
I want one. Third match for me will be from WrestleMania 2000, aka WrestleMania 16. Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho. 2-fall match. First fall was for the European title. Second fall was for the Intercontinental title. 3 tremendous workers in the ring. Nothing can be deniably said about that. The match itself was fantastic. There was, I believe, Jericho and Benoit went another WrestleMania at a ladder match or something like that later on down the road. But either way, fantastic match all around. But that was for me for number 3 then.
That's the only time that match has ever appeared, I believe, in WWE, where 2 titles were on the line in 2 different falls
Correct.
in the same match.
Correct.
I'd like to see that again.
For me, this one has a little bit of special meaning. This was the first WrestleMania I actually watched in full, which was WrestleMania 17. It was the one that was given away for free by mistake, and everybody got it. I remember I used to watch them scrambled growing up as a kid. I'd try to I think it was like Channel 98 or whatever. I put it there and kind of watch it scrambled, and then I turned it on there, and it was actually on. So my mom came in the room, she's like, "Did you order a pay-per-view?" I was like, "No, I swear to God, this is free." She's like, "I'll be checking the bill." I was like, "I swear to God, this is free." So I'm watching the pay-per-view, and I got to it late. So I got to the match I'm about to pick now, is the TLC match between the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys. And this match, for me, had everything you could want in a match. You had some really cool ladder spots. I believe that was the one where Edge hit that spear onto
Jeff Hardy.
onto Jeff, and it just looked brutal. Some tables got used. Chairs. Lita gets involved.
Rhino gets involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think this match, like, everybody got their stuff in, and they put together really a fantastic car crash.
Yeah.
To me, it was one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. If I was going to make a top 10 list, I'd probably put that on for mine. But that's all I have for mine. Colin, what about you? What do you have for 4?
Triple threat match between Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, WrestleMania 32. He went through it a little bit. The only thing I have to add to it was this is the first WrestleMania that I'd watched in full.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never really watched pay-per-view. I didn't have the money to afford a pay-per-view, and I didn't have friends that also watched wrestling with me. So I never really bothered to pay money to get to one, and then I think we were at Stevens when we watched it.
Yeah, we watched it at Stevens.
And it was funny because I just sat there and we were watching it, and I was like, who's the redhead? She's pretty cute. I'm going to root for the redhead. So she didn't win, unfortunately, because that was when Charlotte was basically winning every pay-per-view she was in. And now Kevin Dunn has ruined Becky Lynch for everybody.
Asshole.
So, but anyway, go Becky. They were all 3 great talents, though. They're still great talents. Nothing you can really say about it as far as argument, but since Becky's never getting another title opportunity, it's always Kevin Dunn's in WWE. So, yeah. Thanks, Kevin Dunn.
Asshole.
Zach, what do you got for 4?
WrestleMania 22, Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. I think by far the best story on that card that night.
Yeah, there wasn't really. I mean, Triple H and John Cena was the classic kind of like Rocky underdog versus the privileged champion.
You know, having Ray lose that opportunity after winning the Rumble to Randy, I don't remember where.
No Way Out.
No Way Out. And then Teddy Long was just like, you know what? No, you deserve it. We're going to put you in this spot too. You know, of course it pissed Kurt Angle off, but I mean
it was still a good match.
Yeah.
Still a great match.
Short match too. They undercut the time on that because Vince did not want Ray to win the belt.
I think it was only like 10 minutes, wasn't it?
It was super fucking short.
That's what I thought. Like, I think that was the one you went to.
Yep.
And I remember watching it, and I was like, that was short. Like, I guess I would have just thought, something that magnitude of something, especially with those 3 big,
Vince was
stars.
fighting pretty hard for Orton to get the belt, but Pat Patterson actually went and told Vince, no, this is the direction. It was really weird because I'm surprised Vince actually listened and went with that.
It paid off.
It did pay off, but I think they could have handled him better as a champion than what they did to him.
Well, in a route, was that when they put him against Khali, like right afterwards or something like that?
He faced a lot of guys he didn't look that great against.
That's what I thought.
So they kind of undermined the run.
And especially when he got to Batista.
And lost.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was kind of to be expected. Anyway, sorry.
Yep, you're up, buddy.
Okay, sorry. Number 4 for me is kind of a repeat for us, but Mickie James versus Trish Stratus, WrestleMania 22. In my eyes, it was it was probably the first women's match that I actually was intrigued of. It was the one where it was a great build-up. You know, Mickie had just come into WWE, and it was something that you really didn't know who was going to win.
She had her stalker gimmick.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
was a
she
great
did.
fucking storyline.
She did, but I mean,
It was legit.
like, I think we all knew in the end, like, Trish was going to eventually retire, and they were trying to build somebody up to become the next Trish. Not like saying like anybody can
Be Trish.
be Trish,
She
but like
tried.
the next person.
She fucking tried.
But she was good, and she was a good worker.
Yeah, Mickie
and,
can work and still can.
Right, but I mean, the thing was, is back then you didn't have those matches.
Yeah.
And it evolved. I mean, it's evolved since then, and now you have like, you know, almost 10 of these women, if not more, who can work, you know, in that spotlight as well. But at that given time, you were mainly seeing gimmick matches, like you had mentioned before, and
Yeah.
this was a legit match.
Kind of an outlier.
Yeah.
Is that it for yours?
Whereas now that's the norm.
Mine, and I don't call him a shit on this one, but whether you love him or hate him,
Hate him.
you can't take away what he did. The man revolutionized professional wrestling,
Garbage.
and without him, you don't have it. I'm sorry, you don't.
We'd be better off with that.
And that is from WrestleMania 18, Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. And one of those matches that you really only get maybe once every decade or so. You're very lucky to get a match where two big names like this that dominated from two different companies come and fight one another and create a spectacular moment.
It wasn't spectacular. Hogan was in it. But anyway.
Rock won.
Rock won.
Yay, good. Hogan put somebody over. There's one in a row.
Because he didn't do it to Orton.
He didn't do it to anybody. He sucks. Anyway. See, yours is kind of fibbing a little bit because we technically got Rock and Cena 2 years in a row. So, I guess we're technically not going to get another one for another 10 years. I wonder who it'll be then. Who knows? Anyway, so to get on to an actual match that's good and not Hogan's garbage. I hate Hogan. I got the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys versus Edge and Christian, WrestleMania 17. He went into it pretty well. I mean, it's just a spectacular car wreck. That's the best way to put it. It's such a good match. It's always
Something for everybody.
brilliant. Always brilliant.
Watching Jeff just
Yeah, didn't he do a swanton off the ladder?
Off a
And then he
ladder,
got
he was-
speared off a ladder.
It
Like,
was a rough night for Jeff.
yeah, Jeff had a bad day.
really bad day.
Yeah, 'cause
Zach?
I think Edge and Christian won that match.
Yes, they
Yes,
did.
it did.
They've won both of them.
Yeah.
Zach, what do you got?
I have the TLC match at 17.
Like we said, there are going to be repeats.
We made it this long before like somebody had a back-to-back though.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wait, no, we didn't. I thought
Steamboat.
Yeah,
We did
Steamboat.
Steamboats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Except mine was match 3 years of match 2.
You know,
All right, Zach, you got anything that you might want to add differently to this, or
It's
No,
been covered.
not really. I mean, it's been
Your
covered.
turn to
Alright,
pick the
Steve.
TLC match.
no. Number 5 for me is Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12 in the 60-minute Iron Man match. The main reason why I picked that is because, one, it was such a good match, and at the time you didn't see anybody go for an hour long. I've actually sat down and watched it bell to bell, and it's so incredible, the story and what they tell. And at the given time, in my eyes, these were the only two who could do it. I mean, back then, you were either a Bret Hart fan or a Shawn Michaels fan, and that's kind of how, in my eyes, WWE should be. You should still have two good guys, but it's either going to be one or the other until they eventually face. You know, I could be wrong. But the best thing about that was that nobody won a fall at all. It was literally 0-0 at the very end. Spoilers, by the way.
When did this happen?
WrestleMania 12.
Okay, so that was like 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure people will figure that out.
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
you can keep the spoiler comment to yourself.
Hey, I didn't know. You know, anybody who's watching this. But, anyway.
Well, for mine, I've got from WrestleMania 17. Again, I think 17 had such a great lineup of matches.
Oh god, it did.
It's probably one of the best WrestleMania.
Is Undertaker versus the game Triple H. Now, this was set up off of Triple H kind of looking for an opponent for WrestleMania.
Did you go through a coal mine?
Yeah,
No.
There's an inside joke there.
He goes looking for an opponent, and the Undertaker comes out and says, "Well, yes, you have beaten everybody in the WWF at the time.
I'll make you famous.
You haven't beat me." So this match gets made for WrestleMania 17, and Jesus, what a match! I mean, there were so many points in this match you thought either one was going to win. They start fighting outside. They start changing the pace up. You get to see the sledgehammer shot. You're like, well, fuck, Triple H has got it. The last ride happens. You're like, well, fuck, Undertaker's got it. There was a great match, a great example of a match that was kind of like a yo-yo. It played with your emotions all the way through. And at the end, I thought it was satisfying. And The Undertaker got yet another victory and built towards what was one of the most legendary streaks in professional wrestling.
If I recall correctly, they had banned the pile driver by then, hadn't they? After Stone Cold's thing, so that's where the last ride actually came in.
Well,
Did he actually use the
I
tombstone
believe
in
he's
that?
still... It's been a long time since I've seen the match. I don't know if he hit
Actually, I
the
think he
tombstone.
did win with the tombstone because
Did
he
he
used the last ride, didn't win with it. He used the tombstone as the last resort.
Yeah, because I believe Triple H hit him with the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was like, oh shit, Triple H has got it.
Yep.
And then the kick out, and I'm like, well, fuck, what's it gonna take?
Yeah.
So that's mine. What do you got, Colin?
I have Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan versus Batista WrestleMania 30. Underdog story of all underdog stories. People love Daniel Bryan so very much. Thank God he's coming back. So happy for him.
I'm thrilled.
I'm
I'm
yeah, but
ecstatic.
some of us are happy for a real reason, not because we're selfish pricks and want to win dinner.
Wow.
That's why he wants him to come back. It's not a lie.
I have nothing against Daniel Bryan at all. I'm happy that he could come back.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was a good match. He won with the yes lock. I mean, Michael Cole could have stopped talking the entire time, but other than that, it was what? He's annoying.
I didn't say anything.
At least nobody went through a coal mine then. We should explain that at some point.
Oh, that's coming up, believe me.
Is that your next one, Zach?
No.
You talk about the coal mine?
Actually, I'm going to go with Ric Flair and HBK at WrestleMania 24, the career match. Oh, yeah. There's no need to talk about that. You just need to watch it.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Such a good story.
Uh-huh. Sean didn't want to do it until Flair...
I swear, I think HBK either almost died or had a broken rib in that match, like twice.
Wasn't it because he moonsaulted onto the fucking
Table,
on the
yeah.
table?
Yeah, the table like gutted
Got
him
him right,
right
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, the ever endearing last words. I'm sorry, I love you, super kick.
Yep,
Bye-bye. Lights out.
Career over.
Yep, that was a good match.
it was very good.
So, I mean, I would just say watch it. There's... yeah.
Ric Flair's like, I'm not taking no fucking moonsault. Fuck you. Step aside.
Fucking step.
Number 6 for me, just kind of piggybacking off of
God damn it.
Scott's number 5. Except it's a different year. Undertaker versus Triple H. Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee.
They didn't go through a coal mine then, did they?
No, they were stuck in a cell the whole time.
We've learned Hell in the Cell doesn't mean they stay in the cell.
Hold on. So Colin doesn't repeat this joke after every fucking comment.
I have
We had recorded a podcast, this exact one prior, but we had an issue with uploading and it just wouldn't take, so we had to record a new one. And Zach had mentioned something about one
25.
of the 25.
No, it's 27.
Between Undertaker
The
and
cell was 28.
Yeah.
Undertaker and Triple H, and there was a whole miscommunication because the way Zach had explained it, we forgot that match took place, and we looked at Zach like he was fucking crazy.
Yeah, because he talked about them going through a coal mine, and we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? They don't have coal mines in matches. I was like, I'm going to go back to WrestleMania 17. And he's like, no, it's the one before Hell in a Cell, and we realized it was 27 where he spine busted Undertaker.
But sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good, man. That way I don't have to make this joke anymore.
Yeah, go ahead and continue.
No, I mean, like, the main reason why that match was is because, in all honesty, all of the Undertaker Triple H matches that have gone on at WrestleMania have been phenomenal. No pun intended. But this one had a little bit more significance because, Shawn Michaels was involved. It was almost like a double gimmick match for these two veterans. And at the end of it, it was basically, that match is being called the end of an era match.
Correct.
Because at the very end of it, you will see Shawn, Triple H, and Taker at the top of the ramp, all hugging each other. And it was basically a show of respect between all three of them. Because if there's so much respect in one ring, it was there. Because of what they've done in the business for 20 plus years. Some of them are still doing it, Triple H and Taker. But other than that, regardless of what you think of Triple H, he can still put on a hell of a match.
I don't think this match is coming up is going to be very good, but I don't think it's going to be very good. Kurt Angle's on his last leg. Stephanie's not very good, and Ronda's kind of green. So it's going to be basically Triple H carrying the entire freaking group.
But he can do it.
Yeah,
He can do it.
yeah. He's going to have to.
So mine, and I actually just went back and watched this. I thought it was actually a really good match, so I added it to my list. Was from, I want to make sure I get the WrestleMania right. WrestleMania 31, Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins.
I am shocked Seth Rollins made it onto your.
Mm-hmm.
That had probably
The best finish.
the coolest
That
fucking
was
RKO I have ever seen in my life.
It's up there with Evan Bourne's.
Yeah.
His RKO.
The Evan Bourne, there's been so many different variations that RKO's got hit out of. This particular one was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
But and overall, it was a good match. I think they went like 20 minutes too. So
Yeah, they did.
they got a lot of time to work, and it was some good back and forth action. And that fucking finish, just boom.
If you haven't seen it, he literally Seth goes for the curb stomp. Orton forces him up. He goes up in the air and then he RKO's him out of the curb stomp. It's brilliant.
The funny thing about
That
that
was
is
great.
too is that apparently they had practiced that spot like 5-6 times and they couldn't get it down, so they were almost going to cut it, but then they just tried it live. And when you do things live, sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
Tried it live, perfect RKO.
Yeah.
Colin, give it a go.
Oh man, 2 matches to go. I'm gonna go with Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13.
Fantastic.
Phenomenal match. Double turn.
Yep.
Bret Hart went heel.
Was it the first double turn?
Not the first, but it was the first one done, I believe, at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was brilliant. Yeah,
Well,
Bret
that's
Hart,
what I meant. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Bret Hart went heel. Stone Cold Steve Austin went face. I mean, the best part was the finish. Stone Cold's locked in a sharpshooter. He's got blood just gushing down his face. Passes out. He doesn't even tap out. He just passes out in his own blood. It's brilliant. They made a shirt from it, I think.
Yep.
So,
They made a lot of money off that shit too.
it's a brilliant. I mean, one of the most iconic WrestleMania moments. Just him rearing up and there's just blood all over. It's a brilliant match.
Zachy, what do you got?
I've got The Undertaker versus Triple H at WrestleMania 27, where he goes through the coal mine.
Yeah! Yay! It made it! So every Undertaker Triple H match has been on somebody's card.
Mm-hmm.
That was the
Some
most...
good fucking matches.
I think that was probably one of the most physically intense matches I have ever seen at a WrestleMania.
I think the one right after it where he steel chairs him for like 80 different freaking
Was
times.
that the one where they took the chair shot to the head and Vince,
Yes.
and Vince fined them both?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Where they didn't put their hands up.
Yep, just fucking cold, like late 90s chair shot to the head and melted into the ground.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Vince was thrilled.
So Zach, do you have like a reason why you wanted that one on there, or?
Just because, like I said, the physicality in that match was just something I hadn't seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, that's a good
And
match.
it was just,
Well, that was also the one where Taker couldn't walk on his own.
yeah,
afterward.
yeah,
He might have won, but he wasn't the one walking out.
yeah.
It's a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Steve-O?
Number 7 is going to be a repeat again. We don't have to get a whole lot into it. Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 3. Was it the Intercontinental title?
I don't know if the belt was on the line.
Either way, the match happened at WrestleMania 3. It's such a good match. There ain't not much you got to say about it other than the fact that it should be on everybody's WrestleMania card. If it's not, then wow.
It's not on
But
somebody's.
that's just me.
I don't think it's on text.
It's alright.
Is that all you got on that one,
Yeah,
Steve?
we've talked about it 3 different times now.
That's true. So mine is from WrestleMania 28. It is CM Punk versus Chris Jericho.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good match.
I love CM Punk.
Please
Great.
come back.
He's not coming back.
It'd be nice.
AJ Lee probably won't, but he ain't.
Oh God, please come back.
2 top workers in terms of storytelling, actual wrestling ability, and mic work. Surefire Hall of Famers.
Well,
Whether I think at some point in life CM Punk will get in. Jeff Jarrett got in, and
That's true.
his offense was much worse.
Yeah.
And really, CM Punk's offense wasn't really. I don't think it's not that big a deal. Vince, I think, likes CM Punk. It's just he doesn't like Triple H. I think it's how that works.
CM Punk didn't like the system, the WWE machine.
Yeah,
But
understandable.
that aside and all
That's
that,
why we don't have Rusev as Universal Champion.
all that jazz aside, the match overall I thought was really good. They told a really good story, which is what I like to see in matches. I like to see like a story get told.
Right.
And overall, I mean, out of 5, I'd probably give that thing like a 4 out of 5 in terms of everything. I thought it was a great match.
Right.
But that's all I have for mine. Colin, for your 8th one, what do you got?
Okay, let's be real. It's got to be the showstopper. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. The best, in my opinion, the best match of all time. WrestleMania or no WrestleMania.
Light versus dark.
It is just...
It
It is a gift.
It had you on the edge of your seat.
It is an absolute gift. If you've never seen this match and you're a wrestling fan, where the hell have you been? This match is phenomenal in every way. It is easily, it's a 5-star match, period. Whether Dave Meltzer agrees with it or not. Because he gave it a 4 3/4 stars, so he's wrong.
Here is, not to cut you off, but here's my issue with Dave Meltzer. Unless you're friends, it appears, with Dave Meltzer, he will slight you on the rankings. I don't know what he could want out of a match that was not in this. You had everything you could want in a match and more.
Well, didn't he give
Maybe he's seen too many wrestling matches and quality matches like this don't faze him. So, I don't know what the fuck his problem is, but I do not agree with that assessment.
Yeah, Gargano got a 5-star.
As he fucking should.
Yeah, that Gargano, like,
CNLs.
yeah, that was a
They-
5-star match.
That's right up there with how good Undertaker and Shawn was.
Because I know you guys don't have this on the card, but I mean, it's just brilliant. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's just so damn good. It is the best match, period, in my opinion. It's brilliant. Can't do anything wrong. I mean, the ending's great. Moonsault into a tombstone. That's what led to the next match the next year, which was just as good. Also, I would argue a 5-star match. So those two brilliant workers, whether you love them or hate them.
Zach? Final match.
The final match I have has been repeated, and I don't really have to repeat much after this, but Charlotte versus Sasha versus Becky Lynch.
You have that as the last match. All right. I'm okay with it. I'd watch
That's
it.
not terrible.
I'd
Not
watch
bad
it.
at all. Something fresh.
Yeah.
Did you have anything that you wanted to add on maybe that we forgot?
Just the funny fact that Sasha is trying to slide in to break the pin, and Ric Flair grabs her by the foot, and he's like, nope, you get to watch. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Charlotte Flair's moonsault off the top rope.
Oh, it's fucking
was-
beautiful.
was
It's a thing of
gorgeous.
fucking art.
Yeah, was brilliant. I don't think we threw that in there, but it should have been recognized.
It was still a phenomenal match.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Steve, what do you got? What's going to close out your WrestleMania?
The one that closes out my WrestleMania is probably the 2 biggest icons during the Attitude Era, and that is The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin from WrestleMania 19. It was the culmination of the... how long was that feud? Like 5-6 years?
That was a good long time.
Yeah, I know.
It was not short.
Main evented 2 other WrestleManias. WrestleMania 15, WrestleMania 17. 19, the reason why I picked 19 was because it was just such a good match. They had so many things you wanted. You know, you got to have the catchphrases. You got to have the respect between them. You know, Rock finally beat Stone Cold. It was the one thing that he hadn't done at WrestleMania. You know, Austin was riding off into the sunset, so, you know, he let Rock beat him. Ironically enough, they're really good friends outside the ring. you know, I've always been a fan of The Rock. Real nice guy. I've met him. Nice dude. When I was younger. But overall, just watching those two, regardless if it's just the build-up of the match or the match itself, it's always been gold. Now, I will say the best build-up for those two was 17 with Deborah, but that's just one.
Wasn't that the one where Austin heel turns him?
Yep.
That was probably the best. That was. I don't think that was a very good match. I thought it was a pretty good match. The ending was not something anybody wanted.
No.
But no one expected it, though.
But the problem was they drugged the ending out in 17. Vince was out there for a while. It wasn't like a quick, oh my god. It was, Vince was helping him multiple times and then finally put The Rock down.
Yeah.
The main event I have for mine, and this is a repeat, but from WrestleMania 12, the Iron Man match, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart.
Before he lost his smile.
It's like what Steven said. It was a match that at the time shouldn't have happened. They didn't know if two people could entertain someone for an hour straight.
Yeah.
And they picked the two very best in professional wrestling at that time to go in there, go an hour plus, deliver on every single thing, and keep you engaged for an hour. And it's one of those matches that it's going to stand the test of time. To me, personally, it is my favorite WrestleMania match that has ever happened, and I know that covers a lot of ground. No disrespect or discredit to a lot of the other great matches, but this, to me, stands head and shoulders above all the others.
So
And they also let that match go like on relaxed rules a little bit too. Most of the other Iron Man matches haven't done that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I got something real quick before we go into the WrestleMania thing. It's going to make it really quick. So did you see that I believe it was New Japan Pro Wrestling put in Eevee as a wrestler to face Evil for April Fool's Day?
Yes.
Thank you, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Eevee is now a wrestler. He's my favorite wrestler of all time.
so, for the last half of this, we're going to do our WrestleMania 34 predictions. So, we have 3 pre-show matches that are confirmed. We have the 2 Battle Royals and the Cruiserweight Championship match. So, the first one I'm going to go over with you guys and ask for opinions on is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Pick 2. Give me 2 columns that you think are going to win.
Matt Hardy.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just think Matt Hardy. I don't even know everybody that's in this match.
Everybody who's not on the card.
There will be
Oh boy!
No, I'm serious.
There will be call-ups from NXT to round it out.
I'd like to see Adam Cole in it.
He's going to be a busy man Saturday night. He's doing a double duty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's got to defend the tag belts and be in that match.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And so those are your 2?
Yeah, I'd say that too.
Zach?
I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Hardy, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bray Wyatt didn't find a way, somehow, some way.
You mean the new Undertaker?
We don't really know what to expect from this Bray changing character, so...
Oh god, I'd laugh if it was the Undertaker.
Steve?
My first one would probably say Dolph Ziggler.
It would be nice.
That ain't gonna happen.
Be a change.
Yeah. The second one, honestly, I want to say Goldust.
That is a bold fucking prediction. Do you know something?
No, like, I mean, well, he just got announced for it on Monday, but he's coming to the end of his career, and he really hasn't done a lot at WrestleMania other than the Piper match at 12 that I know of. But
He also said Alabama wasn't getting it.
shut up.
So
We're all wrong on things, but I mean, like, I don't know. I guess back when Goldust said he retired, he wanted to at least wrestle Cody Rhodes one time at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
That ain't happening.
Nope.
So if Goldust were to win it, it could be WWE's way of saying like, hey,
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, hell, Mojo Rawley won last year, and who the hell predicted that?
nobody, and it did nothing. This match doesn't mean anything.
But that's the thing, like,
Unfortunately.
if Goldust were to win it, okay, he
That's
would
why
get
they're going to have Ziggler win.
Because it doesn't.
either way. I win.
Because it doesn't
but-
matter.
Exactly. If Goldust were to win, it would be his one WrestleMania moment, and he could literally retire, and it wouldn't matter.
That means Becky Lynch can win the women's one because it doesn't matter.
Well, we'll get to that. The 2 that I've got picked, I believe, will be either Bray Wyatt's new gimmick, whatever that's going to be, or a returning Big Cass.
Okay.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad one either.
I don't know if he's healed from his ACL tear yet or not.
I think he has. Because he was originally supposed to come back at the Royal Rumble.
I had heard
I thought-
Rumble, possible Elimination Chamber. Like they made a few comments about a return, but it never actually came to fruition.
He'll be a face though, I think.
Up next, to have a break between two battle royals, the Cruiserweight Championship match, the finals for it, between Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander. Who do you got, Colin?
Don't care. It's cruiserweight. Nobody gives a crap about that anyway. That's
Good
my
answer, Vince.
that's my pee break. Ali.
It'll be a great match.
I mean, we all left during the cruiserweights, so if we're hardcore fans and we left during the cruiserweights, what do you think most people are gonna do?
It's because we would have got home to like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, yeah. If it had been Becky Lynch at the end, we'd have been staying.
The bad part is this Cruiserweight division could actually be better, a lot better, but they're not really.
It's gotten better.
Apparently,
It
Triple H
has.
taking over has made it better, but
He
I
has
still don't care.
It's got a long way to go.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently they're supposed to be getting tag belts for the Cruiserweight
Yeah.
titles.
Apparently, we're getting women's tag belts too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I'm happy.
However, I don't know how they're gonna do that because
Call-ups.
well, yeah, because there's no Sasha Banks and Bailey anymore. That's done and over with.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, who do you got for the Cruiserweight Champion?
I got Alexander winning that one.
Okay. Steve?
I really want to say Alexander, but for some reason I can see Ali winning.
Well, it's a 50-50 shot,
Yeah,
buddy.
I know.
Good pick there, man.
I'd say Alexander. I love the lumbar check, and he phenomenal work.
I'm going to go different. I'm going to go with Ali.
Okay, so me and you agree, even though I don't care.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ali. So,
I don't care.
for the women's, and this would be the first ever women's winner. So,
Okay, Colin, pick Becky Lynch.
I get two,
you get two, so one's Becky.
Okay, I get my hopeful. I get Becky. It's not gonna happen. She's gonna probably be the first one eliminated because
Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn doesn't know true talent. I would love for Becky Lynch to win. You wouldn't hear the end of it because I'd be screaming from the rooftops that something good happened to her for once.
Even though she was the first eliminated at Survivor Series.
Hey, she made it really far into the Royal Rumble, which
Bye, baby.
shocked the hell out
So,
of me.
who's your second pick?
You know, I'm gonna go. I don't know if this is possible, but I would like to go bold and say Paige, but I don't know if she'll be back by then. So I'm
She's
gonna.
retired. There's no coming back.
You don't know. You never know. They never
I don't
actually did a
know,
retirement thing, so
I gave up on that one a while ago. So,
you know what? Just for poops and giggles, I'm gonna pick Mandy Rose
oh God, please.
or Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross is a call up. We
We
could
love
have that.
Mandy.
We could actually. They said there's a possibility an NXT woman will actually win it.
Baron Corbin did the year he won.
Yep, exactly.
I'd really like to see. I think Bailey wins, but I think it's going to be her and Sasha at the very end.
I think Bailey. Actually, I think Bailey tosses Sasha out midway through just to piss her off.
Maybe.
So, you're going with Bailey and?
I'm going to go with Ember Moon.
That would be interesting.
Because I guarantee you she drops at TakeOver, and she's the next one called up.
She did well in the Royal Rumble
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
with
Steve?
one arm.
Right.
Two ladies.
Trying to think. I'm honestly thinking Bailey right now. Bailey has been getting a lot of love, a lot of push. I mean, she's kind of turning heel, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Shut up, Colin.
No, they're actually. I think they're kind of tweeners. They're both kind of
Really?
heelish. Yeah, both of them kind of do heelish stuff.
Now.
Yeah, they both kind of do heelish stuff.
As far as the other one,
Yep.
I really want to say Kairi Sane.
Long shot pick.
I'd also like to see Sarah Logan win.
Me too.
Oh, I love Sarah Logan.
The two that I'm going to pick, the first one I think Bailey wins. The other one that I could see is Ruby Riott.
Meh.
But I will say this.
She's not even the best. She's not even the best of the Red Squad.
I will say Carmella will be involved in the final two. Because I think what they're going to have happen, Carmella could win.
Mm-hmm.
If Carmella wins, then she's going to lose the cash-in. if Carmella gets dumped or is in the final 2, maybe they reward her with the cash in on a Raw. I don't see her beating Asuka if they do that. There's a few scenarios that could play out, but I think my 2 is going to be Bayley or Ruby Riott, lastly eliminating Carmella.
I don't like Carmella, so I
So
hope she doesn't get
on our first main card, we have, and this is not in order, so
Okay, good.
Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus Roman
Do you
Reigns.
really have to go with that?
Okay,
That's the
so
first one.
It's the one. It deserves to be on the pre-show. It's a waste of time. We already know Roman Reigns is going to win.
Roman.
Because unfortunately Kevin Dunn doesn't know talent, so he picks Roman Reigns.
Well, but that's not all
Well,
that's behind.
I know it's not all Kevin Dunn. It's partially Vince because he also.
Well, it's
doesn't know
partially
talent.
Brock because he's going back to the UFC.
Yeah, but they got to pick somebody better to take the title.
Who are you going to have take the title?
Braun Strowman?
Rusev? Anybody?
Rusev Day!
At least Rusev's over.
So is Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but they don't
They're-
like Braun Strowman.
Uber over.
Uber over. Roman Reigns, who is only quarter of the way over, maybe
That's
with
pushing
the with the kids.
When he's in the
That's
Shield.
yeah. That's the only time he's really over. It's garbage. It's Roman Reigns. It's garbage, but it's Roman Reigns. It's probably the one I'm gonna take a pee through. My second pee.
You're be doing a lot of peeing during this.
Twice. Roman Reigns and and the cruiserweight match. It's a 7-hour show. There's plenty of time.
So, Zach, who do you think's winning?
Reigns.
Boo.
Yeah,
I'm not booing your decision. I'm booing the fact that we have to say that.
well, true.
It better not be the main event, or I'm done.
It'll likely be, it'll be up there.
Ugh, God.
Steve over.
Freaking garbage.
Reigns.
You're going Reigns? Any particular reason as to why Reigns?
Because it's obvious.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to say Reigns.
So if you say Lesnar, then
I swear to God. I was like, Reigns.
But I will add a little bit of flavor to this. I think it's going to be Reigns with a Paul Heyman swerve.
yeah, I think so too.
I can agree with that.
I think
That's the
Heyman,
only way.
I think Heyman's going to put the screw-ins to Brock Lesnar on WrestleMania.
That's the only
It wouldn't be
way.
the first time.
It wouldn't be the last either.
I'm okay with it. It's
Well,
still
it could
trash.
be the last, I guess.
So sadly, Roman Reigns here gets a clean sweep.
Boo.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him.
So up next for the WWE Championship, we have the champion AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay, so this is
First,
the one that.
hang on. We all win, first of all.
Yeah, we're all winning this.
This is
So it really
fantastic.
doesn't matter who
It
wins.
depends where at on the card they put this. If this fucking opens,
I'm done. I'm right over
I
there.
will be beyond fucking pissed if that piece of shit Roman Reigns gets the main event over this.
5
you're,
years in a row.
You're telling me,
It's four.
if you're telling me that those two, Lesnar and Reigns, are going to outperform the fucking second coming of Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I would say that's pretty much what it is.
No,
I will be furious.
I will be too.
I think all of us in this room are going to be well
And a lot of other people. So that ran aside. Who's winning?
Nakamura, I love them both. They're both brilliant workers. 10 times better than the two people in the Universal. Yeah, 10 times better than the two people in the Universal title belt. Neither one of them are good workers. One's a waste of space, and the other one's Brock Lesnar. So
I guarantee you would not say that to his face.
he is a waste of space. He's the worst. He's
No balls.
He's
No
the worst.
balls.
Bring it, Roman.
Zach?
I'm going to go Nakamura.
Yeah, Nakamura.
Steve?
Nakamura.
I'd be okay with either one.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
I'm going with a sweep. I want Shinsuke to win.
Yeah.
And by the
Well,
way,
okay, wait, hang on. I don't want Shinsuke to win. I want Styles to win, but I think Nakamura will win.
Really seeing a shirt?
but I think the entrance that Nakamura is going to get is going to be amazing.
Oh God, he's orchestra or whatever.
There's a few things I want to see. Rude's entrance, Nakamura's entrance, and if Cena has a match, John Cena's entrance, because all three of them I think will deliver.
I'm curious if Cena has a match with
We're
The Undertaker.
going to get to that.
What that's going to be.
Up next is the mixed tag team match. Ronda Rousey making her professional wrestling debut with Kurt Angle versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Colin, who wins?
Rousey and Angle.
You sound so fucking happy.
I so don't care about this match. It is literally the second worst match I think on the card, behind just above the Reigns Lesnar match. I'd put the cruiserweights above these two matches. That's how much of a waste of time these two matches are. No offense, I like Ronda Rousey. I like Triple H. I don't even have a problem with Stephanie McMahon or Kurt Angle.
Then what do you hate the match?
I don't know, my thought.
It's just a waste of time. You've got Kurt.
This
I
is
explained it already.
Publicity stunt.
I get it, but it's still not a very good match.
He's got.
It's not going to be a good match. You've
So you're-
got three people that aren't very good and Triple H.
Are you picking
I'm picking Ronda and Triple H, or Ronda and Kurt Angle. Who
Zach?
cares?
As much as I would love to see Kurt Angle right off into the sunset, I don't think he does because I think he gets screwed. And I guarantee you he takes the fall. I'm going to have to go, God, I hate this. The Authority probably wins, and it's going to be an Authority fest starting the Monday after. Again.
I can see it.
I don't want to see it because it's a waste of fucking time.
As long as Stephanie McMahon doesn't pin Ronda Rousey, because that'd be you just wasted freaking 3 months of everybody's lives.
Steve?
I'm gonna go Triple H and Steph. I
You
don't
really
see.
want us to hate Sunday, don't you?
Yep.
We're already gonna hate like 3 matches.
I mean,
on Sunday.
like I said, I don't see Ronda taking the pin. I see Angle taking the pin, unfortunately.
So stupid.
However, I could see Triple H pedigree an Angle and making Stephanie pin Angle.
Yeah, because that could happen. That might be the
I could see them knocking over the ref
Be-
and then using a sledgehammer.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
could too,
dirty
but
play.
I
I mean, your
I'm-
heels might as well.
I'm going to say Ronda and Angle win. I think what you're going to have happen is Kurt's going to take the heat the majority of the match. Ronda's going to get the big tag, come in. You'll see a lot of this in the match. I think whenever Stephanie is in, she'll go tag Triple H to get Ronda out,
Yeah.
and only come in if Ronda's down.
Yeah.
But eventually, Ronda's going to be in there with Stephanie. I think she slaps on that armbar, and I think she taps. So I'm going to go with Ronda.
So Ronda's gonna get the hot tag.
Yeah, she is. So up next we have returning Daniel Bryan with Shane McMahon. Question on Shane McMahon. I know he's in bad health. I don't know if he's going to stay the partner, so that could change. Versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I believe the stipulation on this is if Owens and Zayn win, they are reinstated.
Yes. If
Okay.
they lose, they remain fired.
Okay.
I'm actually really looking forward to this, mainly because Daniel Bryan's in the match. Let's be real. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, very good workers. Shane, he's much better than Stephanie as a worker. I'm really excited. I think Owens and Zayn win. I don't think they're going to remain fired. They're too good of workers to be fired from the WWE. No offense.
Well, it's
they're
fired. It might be go to Raw the next
that's
night.
what I was
That's also
thinking.
true, but I mean, I would like to see Daniel Bryan win, because Daniel Bryan deserves to win. But I mean, he's going to come back main time. I'm sure next year Wrestlemania he'll probably be facing Nakamura for the belt.
Oh, I can only.
Oh my goodness! Could you imagine Nakamura, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles in a triple threat match? That would be that easily main event, even though Roman Reigns will main event because WWE hates its fans. So I'd like to see it though.
Zach, who you got?
I'm gonna go blah blah blah, not AJ.
Where did AJ get the match?
I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan and Shane, just because I can see them leaving SmackDown going to Raw the next night. So
You might have to.
I think it's not. It wouldn't be fair to the fans. Okay, you bring Daniel Bryan in. He's already got his ass kicked by Kevin and Sammy on SmackDown 2 weeks ago,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you're correct.
And then Daniel Bryan come out. I can't see him getting his ass beat twice.
Yeah.
In a mere matter of 2 weeks.
By the way, the two go-home shows this week were not great.
No, they were pretty
SmackDown was
lackluster.
better than
Raw was really
Raw.
bad, and SmackDown was better, but not by much.
Well, when it's a 7-hour show, you gotta save your energy.
Right.
They went through 5 hours and did nothing. It was basically a waste of time.
Steve?
I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan and Shane. if the health reports are right, I could see them pulling Shane for somebody else.
God, nothing would say babyface comeback like a handicap match win.
Either that or you throw somebody who doesn't have a match.
So,
At
I'm assuming it has something to do with your shirt.
A little bit. Well, I mean, there's two possibilities for this gentleman right here. But either way, I still see is Zayn and Owens lose and they go to Raw the next week. As not part of the shakeup that may or may not happen, but it would still happen.
Let's have Braun Strowman and Daniel Bryan tag team twice. I watch that.
I'm gonna go with. I think Daniel Bryan wins. There's no way that he doesn't win this return match, and the crowd is gonna be probably really pumped when that music hits.
Which is why this should be one of the last matches.
So, I'm gonna say that Daniel Bryan and Shane, or maybe Daniel Bryan by himself, or Daniel Bryan and a mystery partner. Daniel Bryan's winning this fucking match.
Yeah.
So up next we have the SmackDown Women's Championship, the champion Charlotte versus Asuka.
Asuka. Period.
Zach?
I'm Asuka.
Asuka.
Asuka, I'm glad we got to talk that one out.
There might be.
Okay,
There might
what's
be
there
a
to talk
Carmella.
about?
There might be a cash in, I don't know.
Well,
It's gonna be a failed
let me
match
be
if
the
it's
devil's
awesome.
advocate here. I don't. If I'm Carmella and if I have free reign to choose my champion,
You do.
I am not going after Asuka because she's going to kick your ass. You have a much better shot, and I really still think Alexa's going to retain the title, and then once she
Don't give it up! It's the next match! Just give me a minute! Alright,
I know
next,
what Zach says.
all right, next match. Alexa Bliss, champion versus Nia Jax. Colin?
Up until so I think Carmella cashes in on Asuka and fails. So you've got to have a fail at some point. So why
that's
not?
the second fail
First
in
off-
3 years.
First off, Carmella is
You watch your fucking mouth what you're about to say.
not that good.
Shut up!
But do we
Better
know-
wrestlers in that match deserved the title, the Money in the Bank thing over him.
Yeah, James
Ellsworth.
rebuttal?
Oh, you mean the guy who actually won it?
Alright, so are you picking
I think
Alexa or Nia?
I think Nia wins it.
Nia?
Nia deserves to win it. How about that?
Alexa retaining?
Alexa retains, and here's why I say this. You have Bacharella, who, okay, great, she's big.
Ooh. Oh, Nia.
Who the fuck
I thought you were talking about Naomi.
No. But she's not completely ready to go. I see Alexa retaining. She's going to get her ass beat for a while. I can see Carmella.
A while?
Huh?
A while?
A while.
Please tell me what offense Alexa will get on Nia.
Hit and run, man. You never know. It's WrestleMania.
What happens when you catch him?
Then that's when she takes over.
It'll happen 4 seconds into the match.
But I can see Mickey getting involved, and then Mickey trying to throw her out, or mess with Mickey, and then you have a surprise win, a roll up or something, and then oh hey, Carmella's right there. She's already. I don't think Alexa is as good as a champion either. Honestly, that's the only way. Because if she goes after Asuka, Asuka's going to destroy her.
She's fine.
Steve?
Alexa's fine.
Oh, Alexa's a good heel.
Alexa's fine. Anyway.
So Alexa retaining there, Pervy?
Nope, I'm going to say Nia Jax. Sorry.
Really? Mr. Creepy in the corner with Alexa Bliss?
A little bit. No, I
down,
say
Steve.
Nia. I would like to see Nia win. Considering the fact that they're just now actually booking her really smart. Being a monster heel and everything. But that's just me.
I'm going to go with Alexa retains.
With a cash in?
No cash-in. I think the cash-in's going to happen on Asuka.
Which is so stupid.
I think Alexa drops it the next night to Ember Moon.
Wow.
I think that'll be
Fair enough.
Interesting.
what happens. So, up next, we have tag team action, guys. We have The Bar versus Braun Strowman in these hands.
Yes. Braun Strowman.
Mystery tag team partner. Does he
Who
get?
gives a crap?
Does he get one? And if so, who is it?
He will. I hope it's Alexa Bliss, because that would just be delightful. He doesn't need anybody. Braun Strowman has proven he's way better than the two people in the Universal Championship match.
I feel
Argue
he-
with me.
I feel like he is in like stuck on that.
Because it's a bad match.
I think that they dropped the
Why can't
ball
we?
not putting Strowman in the title picture.
And he should have won it. he deserves it over Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is not over. Braun Strowman is over. Braun Strowman actually is a believable winner.
Who is the partner?
Damn.
You know what? I think it'll be. It could be Cena now that Cena's on Raw. Especially if the Undertaker match doesn't happen.
I think this will determine what part of the card this takes place on.
A lot of rumors say Elias. He doesn't need one.
Well, to put this into perspective, it's on the main card, so it's someone probably of returning or of importance.
You know what? It could be Big Cass.
There's also another option.
Bray Wyatt.
There's also another option.
Who?
Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah, you're right. Samoa Joe could be a good one.
What the fuck? What
Did
do you
you
know
know?
Samoa Joe?
How
No,
dare
like,
you?
no, wait.
What you
Sit
want,
over there.
Torpy? Sitting over there in the corner.
Fuck you. First of all, I don't know if
Disrespectful.
Joe's healthy enough to come back.
It don't matter. He's better than the other two options.
I'll give you that.
That's
but
true.
that's the point. I'm saying, like, I don't know if his health is, like, there or not, is what I meant by
It's a tag match. You think Shane McMahon's 100%?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Somebody will probably be subbing for him.
You know what? Braun Strowman doesn't need a partner.
I
He could
agree.
beat the bar by himself.
Zach?
He's that damn good.
Okay, so I agree that Braun wins, but I think his mystery partner, and this could be crazy, but I could see this happening maybe. I could see Daniel Bryan saying, "Hey, let me be your partner. I know I've just wrestled, but let me be your partner." And then he comes back in on that since he's already gone before. You know, he's won a triple threat match.
That could be.
Why don't they just put him in the fucking title picture? This is gonna be.
You know what? He could wrestle all night.
But why not? Why not put him in there? Because it would be better than him being with Kane and the whole movement.
That was awesome.
It was awesome, but I could see that happening.
Alright.
It's
The bearded,
Brian
the bearded
Mania.
connection.
Yes.
It's
The
Brian.
bearded connection.
Who's winning?
Yes.
And who's the partner?
Braun Strowman. I still say Cena's the partner.
That could very well be.
I mean, I guess the way I see it is it's set up for Cena to be it, which means that it probably won't be it, but it's so steered that way.
Well, they've been talking about Cena Undertaker for about 2 months now, and now that apparently is not happening. So
All
it
right.
may or may not happen. I don't know.
But I mean, it would make sense for it to happen, though.
Right. No, I agree.
Is for Cena to be it, because Cena doesn't have a match.
Yeah.
You know.
So
and
And I can't see John just sitting in the stands drinking a cold one. You know what I mean? Like not at WrestleMania.
I'm going to give a very crazy prediction. I think the reason you have a mystery partner is so somebody not named Braun can take the fall. I do not think Braun Strowman is winning this match. The
you
bar-
just don't want anybody to be happy.
I'm also going to take it a step further. I think The Rock's his tag partner.
Oh God.
They already said The Rock's not going to be there. I know they said he could be at WrestleMania 25. Or
They
Raw
also
25.
said Ronda Rousey wasn't going to be at the Royal Rumble too.
Yeah, but we knew that was a lie. They also ruined the Royal
But you could
Rumble.
also plant the seeds for later, by Rock losing. Maybe Rock and Braun at SummerSlam.
No. Stop ruining this. Why are you ruining this for me? It's the one thing I have on the WrestleMania card that I care about.
I can tell you right now, Braun Strowman is not winning this match.
Well, that's
There's
what's wrong
the
with this.
mystery partner is going to be there to take the fall.
It'll be Elias then.
I wouldn't mind it being Elias. I like Elias.
Well, she's going to take the fall then.
Up next, we have the Intercontinental Championship match. The Miz as the champion versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Who wins?
See,
I don't think.
up until Raw, I had Seth Rollins, but now I think it's going to be Finn Balor. Because Seth Rollins got the pin. I think it's going to be Finn Balor.
I think it's gonna be Finn just because the WWE fucked up and never gave him a rematch for the Universal title.
Well, that
Miz-
is over, and they're slowly realizing
Right.
it's over.
Yeah, and
Right.
Miz is going. I'm pretty sure Miz is going to go enjoy fatherhood for a while. By the way,
That
baby
was-
facing it.
That was my thought. Yeah.
Yeah, he was baby facing a lot in that
Lead up.
the lead up. That's
Steve?
pretty good.
I say Balor, but I also
Do you think the Demon's coming out?
that was what I was getting ready to get at.
Oh please.
I
God.
think the Demon comes out this time because usually he only does the Demon at big match, and then the big four usually is when he does them. Because he did it at Survivor Series, he did it at SummerSlam, he didn't do it at Rumble, which was he didn't have a match at Rumble, did he?
He was in the Royal Rumble.
No, besides that.
No.
That's okay. So that's what I'm thinking. He
He was-
might pull the demon out.
He was the fourth from last or third from last.
He was top. He was fun.
He was in the
I'm-
final four. Yeah,
I'm going to go with Miz retains.
that's shocking.
I think Miz retains the next. I think this might end up being a lot of these champions do retain, but they drop them.
The
Yeah,
next
yeah.
And Miz, I think, is a prime candidate because if you called up somebody from NXT to the main roster and took the belt off of Miz, Miz leaves for a while to go enjoy fatherhood.
I can see the Miz holding on long enough to break the record and then going down.
All three of these men are credible enough to win.
Yeah.
You're not going to be upset if either one wins.
Except for
Well,
Scott's gonna be upset. That
Yeah, if Raw won, I'd be a little upset.
Yeah.
But coming up next is the United States Championship match. Randy Orton, the champion, versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev Day.
Okay. The only one I don't want to see win is Jinder Mahal. He has no business being in this match, so they just needed a spot for him. He's a spot filler and probably the person who's going to take the pin. Hopefully, because he doesn't deserve to be there.
Orton ain't taking the pin.
Orton's not going to win the match. He's already he got the Grand Slam, so it's between Rusev Day and Bobby Roode. I'm going to pick who I want to win, not who I really want Rusev Day to win. So I think Rusev Day's going to win.
Zach?
I'm with Colin all the way up to the point of who wins. I think Rude wins.
He's going to have the better interest of the sport.
Yeah, and I think he rolls Rusev Day up or something. Something happens and he's there to kind of schoolboy Rusev.
Jinder Mahal should take this pin.
But
He's
that,
garbage.
that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen that
Captain
way.
Steroids.
Steven?
Rusev Day.
Thank you.
I'm going to agree and say Rusev wins.
Yes!
But I think he drops it at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't think it's a long run.
No,
No.
But
I
I'll
think
take
he
the
gives
win.
him- Yeah.
I'll take him being champ. It'll be happy. People will be happy.
Up next, and I'll need a kind of an answer on this one before we get into it. Was the SmackDown Tag Title match made into a ladder match?
No.
No.
Okay. I had
It
heard.
doesn't. Well, like last year's.
Yeah,
It may be.
I had heard that it might be, but I didn't know if they came out on SmackDown and said it.
They hadn't.
So, Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos versus the New Day. Usos are champs.
I want the Bludgeon Brothers one. I want everybody from the Wyatt family to be happy, to have a happy Rusev Day.
Zach?
Gotta go with the Legend Brothers simply because they're so far over.
They're just good.
Steve?
I really want to say Bludgeon Brothers, but I think the Usos retain.
I'm going to agree. I think Usos retain. It's also the Usos' first time on the main card.
That, but the other thing too is WWE never, okay, except for once. Once in the entire time have they had a newer person win at Mania and take a title off an established star. And that was Mickey and Trish. That was the only time I can recall anyway, off the top of my head. But I still think the Usos will win.
I mean,
And I don't think, I will say this, I don't think the Bludgeon Brothers take the pin.
It's gotta be the New Day.
I think they're all really established stars though, because the Bludgeon Brothers are technically a tag team that's been there for a while, and they've been in singles matches before. New Day is over as all get out, and the Usos, this gimmick I didn't like at first, but their matches with the
Ooh,
with the New
question.
Day.
Yes.
You think the New Day splits up after WrestleMania?
Scott wants them to.
I hope. I think it's time. I honestly do. They've done this for what, 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Been a while.
I mean, at some point you got to wonder: are they chasing like the tag title record or for number one?
Yeah.
Numbers
for
one.
the most.
They've got the reign down.
Yeah.
To keep them fresh, I think it's time you split them up. I think they actually might get split up in the shake-up.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But this brings us to the last match that may not actually happen, but we'll cover it just in case. Undertaker, John Cena. Who wins?
God, man, that's gonna be tough.
If it happens.
Undertaker.
I have seen them.
Cena.
I think John Cena, and I'll go a step further. STF, Dead Man Inc. taps out.
First time ever.
First time ever.
As the Dead Man or the Undertaker?
Dead Man.
Okay, never mind.
I honestly look. The seeds are
make
planted.
it.
It's gonna be the American Badass. Kid Rock's gonna be there. They always do a live performance.
Which, by the way, Kid Rock sucks. Dude.
Kid Rock is gonna come out and sing the Undertaker to the
A lot
ring.
of hatred from that corner.
But
I'm sorry, that's WrestleMania. I'm looking the least forward to. They got so
I'm
many
curious
bad matches.
as to how they would bring out the Dead Man.
I hope it's American Badass.
It's going to be on a motorcycle because he can't walk down the damn aisle.
Okay,
It takes him
so
3 years.
hypothetically,
Yeah.
We gotta
what
make this
if
quick.
I know?
Yeah.
What
We're running out of
if
time.
what if Cena does be a partner for one of the matches, and Cena, let's say they lose, but Taker costs Cena the match?
That could happen.
I'd like to see it. That would at least be something.
Yeah.
Give us something.
Well,
Don't-
because
don't-
remember, the last thing I remember Cena was saying was do something.
Yeah.
He might do something. But to put that as the end, that's our WrestleMania 34 predictions, guys. So for Scott,
Steven?
Zach?
Colin.
this is our WrestleMania edition of the Four Corners Podcast, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Peace out.
Lou. I didn't say that.